What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel with another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. The Sephiroth boss event is now live, and this video is going to be my best in giving you guys a guide for tackling the EX Stage 2, Stage 9, which is going to be the hardest solo boss fight that you're going to be encountering for this particular event. I want to give a big shout outs to my Discord, in particular to my Discord member Lens Hunter, for helping me compile the data. We both ran through this fight multiple times to try to figure out what his moves do, as well as a pattern to what he does, because if you take a look at the boss fight, it doesn't tell you much, much more other than that he has all these immunities to these debuffs. He has no elemental weakness or resistance, and those are the sigils you want to bring. But as you can see right here, unable to read. So it's like they want you to figure out what he does. But we're going to make things easy for you in this particular guide and tell you exactly what he does, so that way you're prepared ahead of time. So what are some information that you guys want to know about this fight? Well, first of all, this is a debuff immune fight outside of elemental stances, and we will get into that when we talk about his different techniques. This is a massive DPS race. So because you cannot debuff his particular offensive capabilities, it is a DPS race because he has very high physical damage. He also has some pretty good AoE magic damage, but his physical damage goes through the roof, and he also has access to an AoE stun, which can be pretty lethal if he follows it up with like another hard-hitting attack that will likely take out one of your party members. So again, massive DPS race, debuff immune, high physical damage, and has an AoE stun. Those are some things that you want to know ahead of time. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at his particular attacks. So he has 4 different single target attacks that he usually uses at the beginning: Aeolian Onslaught, Telluric Fury, Kaishin, and Zanshin. These are all single target attacks. He'll usually target one of your party members or multiple party members. It's pretty random. Usually I find that he targets the party member with the highest HP, but at times he likes to target my healer, which is really annoying, but that's what those attacks do. He has a buff called Boundless Strength, which boosts his physical attack up, and he usually follows that up with his Octo Slash, which is a high single target physical damage attack. If your party member gets targeted by this, and if they are not close to being topped off, or at least having around 4,000 HP, this is probably going to nuke that party member, unless they are buffed with their physical defense. So watch out for that. It's really, really annoying. His other skills that he has access to, so this is going to be like one of his charge moves where you want to break sigils, is his elemental infusion. So Sephiroth will be infusing himself with one of the 4 elements: water, lightning, fire, and ice. He will be weak to the opposite element. So for example, if he's using his lightning infusion, he's going to be weak to water, but he will also be strong to that current elemental stance that he's in. The sigils that you want to be using to break for this particular attack is going to be triangle and circle. During the stance, he's going to start using AoE damage of the current elemental stance. So if he's in the fire stance, he's going to be pounding you with AoE fire attacks. And then if you're unable to break him, he's going to hit you with a really powerful Shadow Flare, which is an AoE magic attack. And if you are not topped off and this happens to go off, you're probably going to die, because it's happened to me. I've been unlucky with a few of my runs, and Shadow Flare has usually wiped me out. So keep that in mind when you see him using his infusion stance, to be prepared for it. His other techniques are Hell's Gate. So this is going to be his AoE attack with an AoE stun. Super annoying, because usually what he'll do is he'll start picking off a party member that's already stunned. So you want to make sure to, again, be topped off. It's going to be very, very important. Might want to consider using some HP regen for this fight. So for those of you that are Red 13 fans, it's definitely going to help. And then his big attack is Masamune in Waiting. This is another charge attack where you got to break sigils. This time it's going to be circle, triangle, and X. And then right after this goes off, if you're unable to break him, he's going to hit somebody with an even stronger Octo Slash, which will likely nuke that particular party member. So what are this boss fight's patterns? So after some testing between myself and Lens Hunter, he starts off with 4 of his single target attacks, and then he goes right into Boundless Strength, and then right into Octo Slash, and then he'll use one of his elemental infusions. Right after that, he's going to go right back into his 4 single target attacks, right into another elemental fusion, then he's going to go into Boundless Strength and Octo Slash, right back into 4 single target attacks, and then he's going to use Hell's Gate with that AoE stun, and then he's going to start using Masamune in the Waiting, followed by Boundless Strength and Octo Slash. After that attack pattern, he's going to be repeating this pattern until he is either defeated or you are defeated. So he's going to go with 3 single target attacks, Hell's Gate, Masamune in Waiting, Boundless Strength, and then Octo Slash. So that just repeats in a loop after the initial pattern until either you defeat him or you are defeated. So here are some tips in order to consider tackling the hardest difficulty for this boss event. You want at least 120k power and higher. So the reason why I mentioned 120k, I do have members in my Discord community who are free to play. Some of them are light spenders, and they were able to beat this particular boss fight at 120k power. Again, if you have it higher, even better, but 120k should be the minimum that you want to attempt this boss fight. You want to have 1 to 2 fire, ice, water, and lightning elements assigned to at least 2 party members. So usually my damage dealers are going to be carrying 1 or 2 of these elements, so then that way they're spread across. So you could do this either with materia, you could do this with like weapons that have specific elements, so you can mix and match that way. And then you also want to have 1 to 2 of the 3 sigils assigned to at least 2 party members. I actually find that 3 is a little bit better, so that way you're consistent in breaking, because you don't want one of his charged attacks to go off. If you let those go off, chances are the run will fail and you're going to have to start all over again. Some more tips are, it is highly recommended to use abilities that buff physical and magic defense. So remember, since you can't debuff him, you want to be able to buff yourself, mainly your defenses, so that way, in case you get hit with like an Octo Slash right after Boundless Strength, or let's say you're about to take that Shadow Flare, you're like, shoot, I don't have anything else to be able to break him in time, and you know Shadow Flare is coming. If you chain like a heal off, and then afterwards use, you know, for example, Aerith's Mithril Rod is probably going to be an MVP weapon for this, because she buffs both physical and magic defense, and she also provides a regen. You could use Barrier Materia. If you're running Matte or Red 13, their LB2s also buff your defenses and also give you some healing. So consider those abilities. When I did it, I actually didn't have it, so it was more of a DPS race for me. But if you want to make your runs easier, you definitely want to consider running those supportive skills. So that's going to be my EX2 guide for this particular boss fight. I'm not going to do a live run for you guys because I was trying to see if I could do it consistently over and over and over, and RNG sometimes did not work out to my favor. Either somebody got nuked by an Octo Slash, or during the AoE phase, 2 of my party members got nuked. So don't want to show you an actual live run here, but at least I want to present to you guys this information to be able to help you guys conquer this particular EX fight. It's a lot of fun, but it is a DPS race, so there are times where you may find yourself having to start over. But let me know what you guys think so far of this particular event. Let me know if you've beaten the fight, what your setups were, and what characters you used. And if you're still struggling, let us know in the comment section below, because we'd love to give you guys suggestions in being able to hopefully beat this EX2 difficulty for this boss event. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.